if the aim is not virtuous. Knowledge becomes evil if the aim is not virtuous. I can relate to the fast-paced technology advancements the world is seeing. Modern technology has done amazing and wonderful things for us, and the advancement of human technology in the past past 100 years has been amazing. So what we are not only able to do our normal things in a much faster, efficient, less hassle-free way, but it's also made the world a smaller place. It's kind of, connected the citizens of the world. But it's slowly becoming horrendously obvious that our technology has exceeded our humanity. So when I was growing up, technology was simple and logical. So apple was still a fruit, which was first found by Eve, and then was owned by Newton. And little did I know about Steve Jobs and him owning Apple. Information came to us from radios and also the Doordarshan news channel, which was so pure. Of course, we saw this news in the neighbor's house TV. And migration was a term that was reserved only for birds. We relied on these systems that were created through toil and sacrifice of our generations before, with an intention just to protect us. The framework of life was very simple then. It was just to be honest and nothing else. Then came the era of internet. All the systems I knew then started, to feel less reliable to me. Almost too thick to hold on to the diversity of mankind. 2 decades is not a long time in the grand scheme of things. So reminds me of Carl Sagan. But owing to accelerating changes, what we can see is natural resources are getting overexploited. Privacy and social life is becoming a thing of the past. Deep concerns on whether technology change will outpace the development of government and policy norms, and that automation may profoundly change industry, affecting employment and delivery of public services. So there's also a considerable concern on the uncertainties about AI, including the delegation of decision making to the machines, which is soon taking over. And it's also raising some ethical concerns. Tell me something, how could you trust a car to take an ethical decision of, in a crisis situation, whether to hit the school bus that is in front or to kind of lose your family that is in the car to an accident? I'm worried also about the biases about these self-learning machines that are soon replacing humans. So just to give you a small use case, there is this bank which developed a machine learning algorithm to scan applications for scan mortgage applications. Then the bank got a lawsuit, and what happened was they were surprised because they knew that their algorithms were very neutral to biases, and the lawsuit that they got was the application of black applicants were getting rejected. So what happened was when they put a 10-member panel, a human panel, to kind of look at the algorithms and make analysis, they found it true that there was some bias that this algorithm has learned on race. So which was very, very, very concerning to me. And also another thing was, I was in this futuristic technology conference in Sydney last year, and there was a presentation that was given by Professor Paul Verschoor of Catalan Institute of Advanced Studies and Research. So what he did was, he kind of enlightened us to tackle the grand science and technology challenge of building a viable and dignified society through sustainable human AI collaboration. I make an underline, sustainable human AI collaboration. And the collective wisdom that came out of this conference was that by the year 2040, so this is just a prediction, or I don't know, there could be some mathematical models also to support that. The collective wisdom that came out was by 2040, humans will replace machines. And there is an initiative that this Professor Paul has started, and he's also a part of it. He's one of the key drivers. Please Google this initiative. It is called Sapiens 5.0. So they are aimed at creating a very sustainable environment. So friends, here my comments are not anti-technology, but are intended to raise awareness of our vulnerability to dangers that exist. It's absolutely essential that we recognize this and actively make contingency planning to minimize the undesirable consequences. There is urgency that you future generation need to keep in mind and act. Otherwise, civilizations that have been built over a long time will just start crashing within decades. So, I see everyone here, I see that, everybody here is in some way going to shape the future. So this is a call for you, future generation, to strike a balance between technology and ethics of life to prolong the impact of technology on quality of life and human beings. So I think I'm running out of time. Okay, so just a last note. What I would want to do is, in my wrapping up, what I would say is, I would want to say that in my professional and personal experience, I have learned that neither poverty can make your life more magical or less torturous. I have learned that dignity of human beings, a culture, a religion, a country, actually resides in its ability for grace and compassion. You can use your energy to build nuclear bombs and destroy the world, or use it to eliminate darkness for the generations to come. You may filthy up the oceans carelessly and cut down all the trees and forests. You can destroy ecology, or turn to them with love and regenerate life in water and trees. You may land on Mars and build armed citadels, or you may look for life forms and species to learn from and respect. You might use all your money that you have earned to wage futile wars and give guns in the hand of little children, or you can teach them to use this money to make more food for humans. So I believe the future is an infinite U. It's just like a circle. It ends where it begins to complete itself. So in my closing, I would just want to leave you people with two things, and please promise me, each one of you here, that you will do this. You will look beyond your limitation and believe in the power of I. So that is the first one. And the second one is, you should prioritize ethical dimensions in every aspect of technology and life. Good always rebounds. Do good to your society and the planet. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Divya ma'am. The next dignitary for the day is Dr. Charles Severance. Dr. Charles Russell Severance is an American computer scientist and academic who currently serves as Clinical Associate Professor of Information at the University of Michigan. Dr. Charles Severance is a legendary Coursera educator from the University of Michigan, whose course, Programming for All, is taught via Coursera and is rated by Class Central to be one of the top 20 MOOCs in the world. Dr. Severance studied at Michigan State University, gaining his BS in 1984, his MS in 1990, and his PhD in 1996, all in computer science. After graduation, he became an adjunct assistant professor in Michigan State, also serving as director of the Division of Engineering Computer Services. He left this role in 1999 to become associate director for advanced technology at the University of Michigan's Media Union and left the university entirely in 2001 to serve as director of product development for Strategic Interactive. In August 2002, he returned to the University of Michigan as the first chief architect of the Sakai project, later becoming a member of the Sakai Foundation Board of Directors, and then its first executive director. I would like to pass on to Professor Charles Severance.
So you can speak, sir.
Thank you. Just wait if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Loud and clear.
Excellent. So I see that you're a little bit behind, and so I will make hopefully good use of your time. So I'm here to talk somewhat about the MOOC that I teach, Python for Everybody, probably the largest single Python class in the world, touched over 2 million users and graduates about 1,000 users a week. So one of the things that's interesting is how this course has been used by visually impaired people, and in a sense how the MOOC movement has brought an increased focus on accessibility to education and the accessibility of education. And when I started out in 2012 building scalable online courses, I knew that I was building courses for millions of people, and I knew that I was building courses for people all over the world, but I didn't necessarily think a lot about accessibility issues. But in retrospect, it turns out that all the things that you do to make a course accessible to people all over the world, accessible regardless of how much money you can pay, accessible regardless of your prerequisite knowledge, it makes the course accessible also to people with disabilities.